We got to know our stuff in the conservative movement. Every one of you should commit yourself to a lot of things after this conference. Our generation needs to read more. Yes, books, that's right. We need to read books more. Not just watch 5-minute videos, which I love, but we have to become masters of what this document, the United States Constitution, means. Who wrote it? Why is it here? What does it mean for you? Not just be able to memorize the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, not just be able to know the 7 action verbs that are in the preamble, but how does it apply to you? Is it unique? Is it different? Is it exceptional? Who is the author and the architect behind it? Who is James Madison? Who is Alexander Hamilton? Who disagreed with them? Where did they meet? When was it done? Was it by consensus? Was it difficult? Was it messy? Why does that matter? It matters for a couple different reasons. The more you learn and the deeper you dive, the better prepared you will be when all of a sudden someone comes up against you and tries to challenge your values, that tries to push back against you. Number 2, all of a sudden you'll be less intimidated than ever before when you get called all these names: racist, bigoted, homophobic, colonialist, awful person. You say, you know what? I know what I am, I know whose I am, I know what I believe and why I believe it, and you're honestly far too unsophisticated for me even to take you seriously. The activist and the conservative movement that kind of reads casually, kind of doesn't really get deep into the ideas, they are not prepared to go up against the well-funded and awfully persuasive leftist movement we've seen in our country. And so where does one start to do that? Well, we obviously try to do that on our podcast, but it's not just limited to that. There's infinite amounts of content online, from the Hillsdale online courses, which are terrific, to many of the thinkers that you've heard up here on stage. And here's a good starting point for every single person here. Start with our country's foundational documents. What are the ideas that led to the Declaration? What are natural rights? Who gives you rights? What does it mean to actually have rights? Do you have a right to housing, food, Xbox, stimulus checks, weed, and masks? And if not, why? Do you have a right to have your rights not infringed upon? Or do you have a right to material stuff? If you're not prepared to answer those questions, then eventually you'll be thwarted by somebody on the left. But when you are prepared to have those things, all of a sudden the level of effective activism from all of you doubles and triples. All of a sudden, when you then get confronted in a workplace environment, when you say, hey, you got to take the vaccine or else you're going to get fired, you'll have the confidence, the courage, and the clarity of thought to be able to push back against that. I want this room right here to commit to saying, you know what, we're going to know our stuff. We are going to be the best informed, best read, and most understanding these ideas in the history of the conservative movement. And the result of that will be, all of a sudden, a cultural transformation, the likes of which we have never seen before.